Okay, so I'm going to do a service on the main drive system, so the differentials and the transfer box and the gearbox. Lots of people pretty much standard EP90 for the differentials. There's lots of conversations about who wants what oil for what, so I've gone for Triple X, which is MTF 7580, which I put in the gearbox oil. That's equivalent to the MTF 94 apparently. And then I've gone for a Castrol Syntans 7590 for the transfer box. There's loads of people talk about different types for different bits. Do your research, make your own decisions up, it's up to you. And we change them every 5,000 miles or every 2 years on the drive systems. To get to the gearbox fill port, it's really a tight squeeze and you need something to get in there to pump it in. This does the job nicely, it's fairly easy to use and reusable. Wipe it out and use it again. There's a tenner on, about £10 online. So I'm looking from the back of the vehicle, looking towards the engine. It's on the left hand side as you're lying on your back. It's in there. And that's the, I did take it out, access patch. Actually, I don't think it's really helping an awful lot. It might help with putting the oil in, but I doubt it. But what it does do is give you a nice bit of light, so you see what's going on. So that's handy. And it didn't take 5 minutes to take it out. So there's the plug. So that's a 1/2 inch dry square socket, as is the drain plug under there. But it is very tight in there. Very tight. There's not a lot of access because there's a lot of things in the way in this big, rusty. This torque converter is only allows you, I don't know, a couple of inches access. So what I do, I've got this. Look, I use this. I've seen people take off the bar off the end of a T-bar. This is the same sort of thing. It's a 1/2 inch drive, and then it's got an extension on the end, so I can just hang on, take that off. That comes off, which is great because you've got the extension bar when you need to get in. You can, once you've just nipped it off so it's not tight anymore, you can get in there, use this part to just undo it tight. You just get that in there, you can properly get some torque on there and just undo it, and then once it's loose you can stick the extension bar on. Alright, so I've got the drain plug out, and I've took a little tip from a other Land Rover guy who does the cable tie. So I've got some different, slightly fat cable tie that does the same thing. So there's oil in there, which is good. It's not at the top, it's definitely a bit on the low side, and it looks pretty clean though. Just dab some in there and it actually looks very clean. But then I'm just going to spin it out by hand. I think this is going to pour out, so let's get that about right. And I'm not going to bother with the sieve because I think it's going to be clear enough to see anyway. No, maybe not. Anyway, it comes. And it is magnetic. And there is some fines on there, but I'm not worried about that. That's good. Well, nothing's really nasty in there, so just top the oil up and put it back together. I think you only need to have a fish around inside. I did put a squidge of blue Loctite. That'll work its way around. It's only like just squished some all the way around. You don't want to put tons on there, it doesn't need it, but just enough so when I screw it in it should just tighten itself up and just seal it all up. So let's just put the oil pot still in there, I just pop it in, and it should, as I thread it in, would work itself along the thread. You can see it's coming out, look, there's loads. There's loads in there. I'll probably squish it off at the end. Oh, that's just something I did take all out. I'll just keep going, and once it's nipped up, and remember, it's just, you don't want to over tighten it, as that will be a disaster. just nip it up. That'll do. You can sort of see it. It's all going in. I put one in. This is the second one. And once this is all in, that's 2 litres, so pretty much there. It actually holds itself in there. There's no need to take that top panel out, really. Oh, it does give me better light, which is handy. But apart from that, there's not much benefit in it. So that's that one in. That's the second one. I might. There's still a bit of leak coming out. There's a bit of leakage, but that's just a bit of overflow coming down. Still got that catching it underneath. I might just see if it's worth feeding the last one in from the top. I don't think I'll bother actually. I'll probably just squirt a bit more. It's going to suddenly overflow. So you fill it until it basically just flows out the top, and that's it. Put your plug in. Job's a good one. Tighten it up, nip it up, and don't over tighten it, of course, but just nip it up, and that's it. That's your oil change done. So right, so we all love a little bit of weights and measures. So that's the two, that Castrol Sinatrans multi-vehicle, 7590. I think I pulled it all back out from in my tub, which I was catching it all in. Put it back in, and yeah, put 2.3 litres in and got just about 1.5 out. There's a little bit stuck around there. It's pretty sticky stuff, so yeah, it's definitely worth filling up and definitely worth changing. So there you go. Okay, so the rear diffs, same again, half inch, a lot quicker the diffs, 1/2 inch at the back. That's where the fill hole is, and then down under here is the drain plug, 1/2 inch again. It's just a case of I'm doing it, letting it out, I suppose. So nothing much to it really. So I'm just going to get on with it and let you know what comes out and what stays in there and how it looks. Here's weights and measures. So that's what came out. The front diff was black, or blacker. The rear diff was brown. The front diff oil seems to be much better condition. It's clearer. There's nothing in it. Nice and clean really, so that's good. Yeah, so that's an old pot I've got with the diffs, brown and black. And I've got, you know, about a litre left, a bit less probably, 750. So that's the 2 diffs done and a transfer box, and I'm just going to do the main gearbox, and that should be that, I think. Job's a good one. See what state this is in. For the gearbox, you need a big 30. Everything's different now. Everything changes. No half drive or anything. For the gearbox oil change, you need a 32mm spanner like this, quite big, and a low profile star drive. I don't know if you can see that. This is a low profile star drive. Like that. Oh, I got the low profile one. What's that? It's a T. Nice little set. I haven't used any of the others. But T10 low profile. There's Franklin's make these. It's low profile because when you put your 3/8 drive on the back, 1/2 inch whatever, or whatever it is, 3/8 I think. Once you put it on there, if it's not low profile, if it's like a long one, because quite a lot of them are quite big, you won't be able to get on it to turn it. So yeah, low profile, got a nice set. The others I've never used, but I might do one day. This is the copper washers. You can get them online in most places. They're compressible, so when you tighten it up, it compresses it. So once it's been used once, you can't use it again. So get one of them. These things. Okay. There it is anyway, up there on the side of the gearbox. And there's the drain plug, 32mm drain. That's there. And there's the star drive up there. And you can see there's not a lot of space up in there. let's just get on it. Actually, you could probably get one with a not low profile, but it's definitely going to be easier with a low profile. If I'm going to get it undone. I'll knock it off with both my hands rather than take the skin off my knuckles. I'll come back once I've loosened it off. Alright, that was really tight. The star drive was pretty tight, but that 32mm was really tight. I think definitely the 32mm. Proper ring spanner you can get on there. It was a big boy, this one. Cranked it off nicely. But it was hard work, nearly took my skin off the fingers again. But look how clean that oil is. Almost tempted not to bother to change it. It's like gold, liquid gold. Nothing wrong with that oil. May as well, almost could just leave it, but it's 2 years old, so changing it out, and I bought a new one, so that's what's happening. Right, I'm going to do this drain plug. I need 2 hands because it's going to pour out of there. Let's finger tight. This is why you definitely have to replace that washer, because that was really tight. As soon as it went, it's loose as you like. This is going to pour out. It's going to run down my arm probably. Ready, go. Ah! Oh, Jesus, how it missed. See what I mean about the colour though? Look at that. That does not need changing, probably. I mean, the viscosity might have gone on it though, but it's certainly not dirty. Just letting it last bit run out. Looks clean as you like. Big nice dollopy mushroom of a on the end of that magnetic plug. But you know, that's what it's meant to look like. It's not a bad thing, I don't think. You know, it's just a dollop of metal fines. Nothing, you know, scary. That's all soft and squishy. It's just like a paste of fine ground metal. Well, that's fine. That's just wear and tear on your gearbox, and nothing scary in that. If there's great big metal lumps, then you do want to be worried. But that's all good. And as I said, that gearbox oil looks amazingly clean. It's all clean. New copper washer. Oh, that's what I'm doing. There you go. It's never as easy when you've only got one hand. That's there, that's the washer. Make sure it goes back over as it should do. Doesn't get caught up at an angle. There you go. That's it. Alright, now I just nip that up. Nip it up nice and tight with 32mm spanner, and that will compress that copper washer, and that will be sealed up. That's up, and I've fiddled around with the washer to make sure it's nice and flat. And remember, once you tighten this up and you nip it up tight, that's it. Don't undo it again to sort of have a double look or anything else, because if you do, you have to replace it again. So let's get it tight first time, okay? And just squeeze it on up. I can feel the copper going. And that's nipped up. That's it. That's on. And you can see it in there. Oh, I've got the phone upside down. Nicely nipped up. All good. Right, next job's just to put the oil back in and put the drain plug back in, the star drive, and tighten it up, and that's the gearbox done. I'm just going to show you how to fill the gearbox with this oil filler, because there's no way you can get to it really easily without using one of these. There are more expensive ones available on the market, but if you were doing it every day for lots of Land Rovers are worth buying, but for just one off for yourself, it does the job. It's 550mm plunger, so 4 or 5 of those in there, fill it up till it all comes out the top. Job done. Then put your star plug back in, do it back up. Job's done. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and look forward to seeing another one. Bye.